at companies like Airbnb, Slack, Din, and Brex. And we have investors like Alexis Ohanian from the co-founder of Reddit. And I've talked to brands from like Pepsi to Epic Games. So we want it now. So dynamic NFTs is like so perfect for that. Wow, what a question.
Today, we have a San Francisco guest, Katie, the co-founder and CEO at Kairos. If you are hearing Kairos for the first time, you can check it out from the link below. And Katie, hi, how are you? How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for having me. Saying hello to you from San Francisco.
Yeah. Katie, can you briefly explain your team's background and how you get started with Kairos?
Yeah, so first of all, Kairos is a company where we make tools for creators and brands to enter into the Web3 world, specifically from creating NFTs without writing a single line of code. The background of our company is there are 4 co-founders at Kairos, and all of us used to be product designers at companies like Airbnb, Slack, and Brex. So we are really focused on great user experience and design. And we think that is incredibly important to on-ramp people into the Web3 space.
Yeah, your team has a solid experience and has proven capable of doing products. And let's continue with your product. What is Kairos and how does it help to creators actually?
Yeah, so Kairos and in the back end is where we're essentially a tool that enables brands and creators to create NFTs. So we enable, like, we have a NFT builder that enables you to upload artwork and to edit different layers, to specify the rarity of each layer. And we also have a website publisher that enables you to go from NFTs to a drop site, and we automatically help you list on OpenSeas and places like that. We also support multiple chain from Solana, Ethereum, and Polygon. So it really is, if you have an idea and you want to build a community, you can come to Kairos and go from zero to get to done in, we want to say, in a matter of hours.
Yeah, it's like a project that integrates Web2 projects to Web3 without any code needed. Yeah, and as far as I know, you closed the fundraising period in pre-seed round. How was your fundraising period and who are your investors?
Yeah, fundraising was something that we talked about for a while as a co-founding team. And we decided to fundraise to really speed up our progress and be able to hire. We closed a round of just under 2.7 million. And we have investors like Alexis Ohanian from the co-founder of Reddit, who's really big into NFTs, and we really wanted him on board, as well as Brianne Kimmel from Work Life VC. She has a track record of investing in creator tools that enable essentially people to participate in different creative endeavors and technical things without needing to write a line of code, which aligns with us, as well as other notable investors are like Packy McCormack, Sahil Bloom, and Lenny Rajiski, who I used to work with at Airbnb. He is Lenny's newsletters, and he has been invaluable in terms of helping us connect with different investors. And yeah, these are some of our notable investors that people may know.
Yes, it's incredible, and you have a lot of people back to you, and I don't know what to say. And
Yeah,
can
we're
you,
very lucky.
yeah. Not luck, but it's an achievement, I think,
Yeah.
because these are incredible names. And can you explain some of your customers and what they do with the help of Kairos?
Yeah. So some of our customers right now, like, not like super big brands, unfortunately. I wish we can capture that, but the market has some impact with bigger brands. But we do have smaller brands like in the CPG space, like food and beverage. We also have artists that naturally come to us because they want to explore the space. And so some of the ones that you might have seen on our website are like Jack Daly. He's an artist that's just done incredible work. And we were so fortunate to have him release a collection with us. We have Wood Elf Wine, which is kind of a small wine startup that really wanted to integrate storytelling into the release of a quarterly subscription for wine. And we also just worked with Goodby Silverstein, which is a advertising agency that's done some iconic advertising campaigns. And they were doing a project called Rubles for Ukraine, which they smuggled Russian rubles out from, I can't say where, but they smuggled it out and put it all over the world for artists to create on, and they auctioned off the artwork using crypto, using NFTs. And so it enabled people to purchase the artwork with crypto. We also provided a credit card on-ramp, so people don't need crypto to be able to purchase artwork as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really good need. It's a really good improvement in the industry, because there is not much market while we are looking for crypto payment. But if we integrate the credit cards, it will really easy for people to get into it. And you have a great achievement in customer side also, because it is like a couple of months you started, as far as I know, and there's a lot of customer in there while you are developing the product also. I think it's great. And
Thank
also you have a virtual pet NFT similar to Tamagotchi, which is Frag, right? It's a dynamic NFT. Can you explain that? What is dynamic NFTs and how do you use this technology in the Frag project?
Yeah, so let me give you a background on why we created Frag. So as I said before, part of my job is to talk to larger brands. I've talked to brands from like Pepsi to Epic Games to all these big brands. But one of the main things that I encountered in these meetings with especially like chief marketing officers, they would say, "Oh, this sounds really cool, but how do I learn more?" And I always find myself saying, why don't you go find a project on OpenSea or join some Discord communities, go on Twitter, and their eyes glaze over. They're like, ugh. And I went back to the team and I said, all right, guys, we need to figure out a way for people to experience NFTs without them needing to become like a full-on degen, because larger brands and like marketers, VP of marketing, CMOs, they are not going to spend the time to Discord grind their way to an amazing NFT. They're just not. And so the team, typical creative designers, we thought, why don't we create something that we can put in everybody's hands and for them to experience the joy of NFTs? And so we created Frag. It brings together our love for Tamagotchis, but also Neopets and Pokemon. Like our whole team is really into that. And so we're like, let's create a really simple game that people can have and they can get. They don't even need to have a crypto wallet. They could just get this NFT and they can, as part of making a game fun, if they keep it alive for the longest, they win some money. And we decided to, at the sort of conception of this idea, we realized dynamic NFTs is something that we need to do in order to make this game actually fun. We didn't want like just a static JPEG that then the entire gaming experience is in a Discord. We also don't want to have to, sell these NFTs for an insane amount of price and then hopefully create a game later. We want it now. So dynamic NFTs is like so perfect for that. It means that as users reach certain levels of achievement, their NFT images change, but also the NFT acts as a memory card to plug into our website, and it pulls all the metadata and it loads the game essentially. So I know that wasn't brief, but I really need to tell you the story of why we created it. I can tell you a bit more about, the price and things like that and why.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Frag. I reviewed it and it was like a machine for mass adoption and people getting in and learning everything in there. And now you're ready for an NFT ecosystem and you can tell about every detail for our community.
Yeah. So, one of the main things that, observing the NFT market is that people are forced to perceive NFTs as an investment, and it's a huge financial risk to start with. And that's a huge barrier for most people to say, hey, why don't you throw a couple of $100 USD into an image when they don't even understand the technology? That's a high ask. And so for Frag, we're pricing it at $1. In order for people to experience the technology, the barrier of entry should be as low as possible. And so it's priced at $1. It's got incredible technology behind it. you don't need a crypto wallet. You can use your credit card. We've partnered with Stripe. We're one of their early beta testers for their on-ramp. And, you powered by Kairos, we created a, temporary custodial wallet for users in order to use this. And it's accessible on mobile. So you can pull up the game, plug in your NFT, and off you go. It shows off all the capabilities of NFT, like, I call it sign in with NFT, but it really is, token gated. And we've created the game that it's not just, you keep it alive. There are little surprises along the way, as we really took the egg metaphor really far. There are a lot of Easter eggs along the way. It's not your typical Tamagotchi game, really. We created characters that I think people really love from all kinds of weird and wacky places. And it evolves. It evolves based on what you do with it and the days you keep it alive. Yeah. So we're hoping that with such a low price point, people will be able to have the NFT experience. And the most important thing is it's an unlimited collection. And when I say that, it's unlimited until the game ends. After that, the collection is solidified by the community that participates. And so we're challenging everything traditional NFT collections are done. We want people to actually be part of it rather than be buying their way into it, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's Freg.
I think it was really good explanation for me, and also I believe that for community. And I really advise to everybody to buy $1 NFT. It's not a financial advice, but it's an advice for experience, I think. And I want to continue with advice asking for you. What advice would you give to other founders just starting or thinking about doing their own thing?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that I am learning as I go. And one of the main thing is I will tell any founder is like, we are sponges and like little tadpoles. Like we're little. And I think one of the main mistakes founders make is they're like, I know everything and I'm gonna just do what I know. As a founder, I realize like it's very important to realize that there are so many things that I don't know that I need to ask for help and reach out to people. And I love the internet. I've reached out to so many people just like on Discord and on Twitter, and they're like, let's do a meeting. And I get to learn from literally anyone in the world, which is incredible. And the second thing is find a co-founder if you can. I think on this journey, so Kairos is technically my third company, and I've always had co-founders, and it's good to know that you're not alone, but also to have somebody else that could sort of carry the weight when you're down a little bit, because we're all going to experience, sometimes you feel exhausted, and I see you have a co-founder as well, and you would know that. And the last thing is, before you build, and we're learning this is literally from Kairos, something that we would have done differently is to validate a bit more before we build the full-fledged product. Sometimes, pen and paper, Excel spreadsheets could do more than build on a full product and then trying to find users. So that's 3 P's.
Yeah, it was great. And I will take my piece from there. And what's your vision for Web3? What do you think about the future of Web3?
Yeah. I mean, I get so excited. And it's one of the things that drew me into this space, the idea of decentralized. We own what we own, and it's not beholden to anybody. And I mean, I want to talk about Freg because we also want to demonstrate that, like, once the project shuts down, you own the thing. Like, we as a website could like shut it down, and you could take that contract and do something else with it. You can sell it as well. This is so powerful when you think about how we build for intellectual property, how we build for like, even how, like, my dream is housing and things like that, to be able to be on that. And also, so yeah, let's get back to the question of like my vision. My main thing is that everybody should be able to access it. This is so important. We don't need to literally become a whole other person we shouldn't need to in order to participate in this. And so a lot of what we do is about how do we remove the barriers to entry? How do we remove the technical language? And once people have access to that, that's when the possibilities are really revealed. And I think that's when the diversity of thought and use cases come into play for Web3. Because in some ways, I think right now we have a fundamental technology that's not just us, but that's trying to find a problem to solve. And for that to really thrive, you need to invite more people in so they can help you, to show you the type of problems that it can solve. And so that barrier needs to come down as soon as possible. And I think, outside of obviously gaming, I think everyday life, we should be able to use NFTs. I think it could replace things like loyalty programs when you go shopping online, shopping in store. It should, my dream is also for it to replace critical government infrastructure like your identity. So driver's license, potentially passport, those things should really be secured as such. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that NFT is like a little computers within the decentralized database, and you can put anything in there and you can authorize anybody and you can check identity. It's like having really ownership of anything, and you can prove it in any second with a little connection with internet. And
on that topic, like one of the things that I think is absurd is that we go to different websites and they ask for your information. They're like, hey, give me your email, give me your date of birth, give me all this stuff. And then they store it, and then they suck at doing security. And then your information gets leaked and you're hacked, right? This happens all the time. And I think one of the main things NFT should replace is this sign-in infrastructure. Like I should sign in and say, here, these are the information you can borrow for now. And like companies in the future should not need to construct a database to store such information. They should just pull from the NFT, operate what they need to do, and then that's it. There's no need to store this type of information on their own, sometimes insecure databases. Yeah, like that's my biggest privacy, ownership of your data, like every time.
Yeah, it will be great if that happens, but I believe that kind of stuff will happen in the future, like 10 years or more, but it will happen, I believe. Lastly, I want to ask, what do you think about the future of Cairo? What's your vision? How do you see it influencing the world one day?
Wow, what a question. So I think right now there's like big dreams, right, as a company, but as a team, we have to learn as we go. Sometimes I've really refrained from like, at the core of the mission really is to make sure everybody can participate in Web3. That is the core. And it guides everything we do, from the products we design to how we communicate and the language we choose to use, and even creating projects like Freg. It's all about access, right? That's how I see our role. And that will always guide how we decide on what to build, and even like tell stories with brands, right? So that's at the core of it. In terms of like specific vision, I don't really have much. Like it sounds ridiculous, but as a startup, we have to remain flexible to adapt to market conditions. And especially in the market conditions we are in now as a Web3 and NFT space, we have to make sure we remain nimble and not hold so much into like what we build to put on others. It's more about like, what do people need to access this and understand it more? And that's right now what's guiding us.
Yeah, I think you have a really great vision even in every market condition, because you are doing great things and it will fit the market while thinking like that. I believe that. And
thank you.
It's the end of our interview today. And thank you for joining our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I apologize about the terrible lighting. I'll fix it.
You look great.
Thank you so much. All right.